A very crafty good morning to you lot. Just gonna wait a minute or two to let some of you to join us, and we can get started. So today we're gonna do square stitch, and I'm just gonna show you a few different variations and what you can do with it. I hope everybody's been all right, everybody's been safe. I worked from home yesterday, and home today, just sort of getting through, but I am still designing, still doing little bits of pieces. So watch the website because we'll be releasing stuff as coming weeks. We're still operating in a warehouse, although with a skeleton crew, but we're still operating as normal, so you can order any of your lovely beads if you need to, or if you want to stock up, you can still be still sending everything out. We're also going to be on Create and Craft tomorrow at 9 a.m. We're taking back our USBs, so that will be a great show to watch. Sarah Millsap's going to be the guest on there. Unfortunately, I live a bit too far away, so I can't really make it to the studios. I would have had to stay overnight in a hotel, and that's really difficult at the moment. So let's have a look at these lovely samples. Square stitch is one of my very favorite stitches. It's really easy to do. Square stitch on its own, so this one is just the bare square stitch here, will give you a loom like beading finish. So if any of you tried beading on the loom, you can that's the sort of texture and that's the sort of pattern you get with it. The beads sit side by side. These are little like 3mm tubes, check tubes. I think this is one of my oldest bracelets, 15 years plus, I guess. I made it a long time ago. But the beads will sit side by side all the way along. I'll show you another one. And that's what you get with square stitch. And a great thing about it with square stitch, that it gives you such a nice base to then decorate it and add things to the top of it. So you can do it in any sizes. The square stitch itself, again, seed beads, it's better if you use higher quality seed beads because you really want them to be nice and even, so there is no gaps, bigger and smaller gaps, but you can really play around with it. I mean, this necklace, I'm just going to bring it in. We made like a statement necklace linking all these larger acrylic circles together. They're all sort of different sizes, but with square stitch, as you can see, you can create little bands and link them together. So there's many different use for this one. What we're going to be doing today, I'm going to show you how to do sort of like a thinner 2-bead row, and we're going to decorate the top of it. But once you're comfortable with the technique and learn the technique, you can take it further. This is again square stitch at the bottom, and then you just decorate it on the top with some like little fringelets. And I love the crystal version as well. It's so sparkly. It gives you like a hedgehoggy finish, or like a flower bed with this one with lovely stone chips. It's really great to, they're really great makes. So let me just pull this out of the way and see. Put the comments on my laptop. Sandra is saying, good morning, love your shows. Oh, thank you, Sandra. It's so nice to see that many of you come back day by day and watch us. And I'm just hoping, like, you know, we can inspire you for different things. Jill is saying, good morning. Hi, Jill. So I'm going to be using size 6 seed beads. Size 6 is about 4mm. Then we're going to be using some size 11 seed beads. That's just going to go on the top. And we're also going to be using some crystals. Now, these are 4x6mm, but again, you can put loads of different things on the top. It doesn't have to be crystals. It can be anything, really, just to decorate the top. But first, I'm going to show you how to do the stitch. Because we're only doing a 2-bead stitch, so anything wider, you would just sort of repeat it longer as you would going on. Joey saying good morning. Angela saying good morning. Christine saying good morning. Dorothy saying good morning. And Patricia saying it's night here in New Zealand. Oh, hi. That's thank you for watching us. That's quite far away. But this is the beauty of the internet. It's so amazing what you can do, sort of. It brings people closer, even thousands and thousands of miles away. So I'm going to do a 2 bead square stitch. If you want to do a 4 or 5 or 6 bead one, you just start with more beads. So as many bead wide square stitch you want to do, just pick that number up, and then we're going to pick up an extra one. And this is my tail end here. I just suspended my work between my fingers so you can see it better. I'm going to come back through the last bead, the closest bead to my needle, from the same way I went through first, so from the tail end, and pull this up. So we're just sewing an extra bead on the top of that bead. Then I'm gonna go back through the bead I just added. Just pull that up. And then I'm gonna pick up another bead and go through my second bead just there. And pull that through just like that. And then I'm gonna take my thread up to the top and go through the bead I just added. So I've done 2 rows, but before I move any further and add more beads going sort of further up, I'm gonna go through all of row 1 and then come back all of row through. That's just sewing all the beads together. So this stitch is really strong. It does use a lot of thread, but it's really, really strong. And then you're just going to be repeating. You're adding your beads one by one. They're going to sit side by side, going all the way up. Just coming through that last one. Then I'm going to all of row through and coming back all of row 3. And again, I'm going to repeat it, show you one more time. So I'm picking one more bead up. And then I'm coming through the last one. So I'm sewing them into circles. Coming through the bead I just added. So, and this one, sewing that one to that one. So with that, I've done row 4, so I'm going to go through all the way row 3 and back up row 4. So I've got a really strong base there. Let me just see your comments. Victoria's asking, I never know how long to make the thread. Have you left it on the bobbin? Yes, so what I do when I start my beading, I don't cut my bobbin off, especially when I'm doing a project like this. It takes quite a lot of thread, and probably like just using the 2 beads I will have enough thread to go all the way to the top, but I certainly wouldn't have enough thread to come back down and add the embellishment on the top. Now, as you know, when we can join new threads and do sort of one thread knot or a slip knot, other people call it, we could, but the more new threads you join, the more tails you have to sew off, and it's just more and more work. So simply leaving the bobbin on, you can't do it for every single project, but project like this, when you know you're going to need more thread, and you're going to have to use it in different stages, just leave the bobbin on, because the pattern itself, it doesn't matter if I'm growing my bracelet this way or if I'm growing my bracelet the other way. So when I run out of thread on this side, or I only have like a feet or so left, maybe a little bit, just to sort of work the ends off and work new one, I don't then have to wave a new thread in, because on the other side, let me just pull this through. On the other side, from my bobbin, I can just take a couple of arm span of thread through and put my needle on there and continue my bead to the other side. Oh gosh, quite a lot of you commenting. I don't want to sort of miss anybody. Camille saying good morning, Julie saying good morning. Pat saying, great, I have been on wondering how to do this. Thank you. Doris saying good morning from North Wales. Nice to see you again. Oh, good morning to you as well. Yeah, Victoria just answered that. Anna saying, good morning, love this in the morning, something to get up and get ready for. Yes, definitely. Morning, Kitty. I'm watching this in between lambing. Hopefully the sheep will not lamb during the show so I don't miss anything. Oh, what a lovely, I love little lambs. Oh, what a lovely morning, waiting for a new lamb to be born. Oh, I'm so jealous. Judith is asking, are you using 6 so they show up on the video, or do you use this size to make it easier to add the decoration? Dorothy saying, wow. Victoria is saying, thank you. Jackie saying, good morning. Thanks for keeping us going. So, yes, I'm using 6s because the 6s got the biggest holes. You're going to have to go through the threads so many times because you're going backwards and forwards. And when you're adding the decoration on there at the top, then you're going to going through them again. Now, you could be doing it with 8s. You could sort of cut down a size and then have more rows. But I think when you decorate the whole of the top, it doesn't really matter because you're going to covering them up as well. So why not make life easier and use slightly larger beads, which then it grows quicker, and then you know, you can be decorating your top much quicker as well. You're not really going to see it. Once you, especially with this version, once you put all the fringe on top, you're not really going to see the 6s at the bottom. And even with this version, once you put the beads on the top, again, you're not really seeing the 6s at the bottom. So just making life easier. But you can go down to 8. Well, any size really. So I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to do a few more stitches here, and then I can show you how to do the top. So for the clasps, you can use so many different clasps. You could, I love using, when I'm doing something like this, I love using crystals as a little, sort of one larger crystal bead as a closure bead. But then you could magnetic clasp, you could use, you know, your toggles and anything you like really. Did I go through that one? No, I didn't. So go through the row before and the last row. So how's everyone being? Now it's sort of week 2 of our isolation, and I think everybody is managing really well. Whoever I talk to, I have found some of my ladies, my beady ladies who come to the bead clubs, and sort of been in contact with a few other people, but everybody's, have to say, thankfully everybody's managing quite well. So I'm quite pleased that we're all getting along, and it's so great to do something crafty and have the time to do something crafty, I guess. So please share this video with your friends. You can send it in Messenger so they can learn as well. We got our free PDF download on the website today, which you know about, and because you've been getting it every day, it's only available for 1 day. So if you want the square stitch one, then please do and download it today, because tomorrow it will be something different. It's just something that you can print out at home or take it with you and work from it. You can watch the video as well again, I guess. So just keep adding your beads. Just like that. So I've been talking to you for a few minutes and already have like a couple of inches worth there. If you can hear the banging in the video, that's my son is, I suppose, running down the stairs. Bless him. I think that's the only thing, but I found a little bit sort of, not difficult, but challenging, that because the children been home, it's like I started something and 5 minutes later is like, oh, Mom, can I have a drink? Can I have something to eat? Or can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And then I obviously had to stop what I'm doing and go and help them. But it's been lovely to sort of be at home and help them. We went through a couple of puzzles already and doing loads of little crafty bits to entertain ourselves. We're going to get our Easter eggs out soon. I got some polystyrene eggs, but we will be covering with wool. We did some a couple of years ago, and So they slowly but surely, I suppose, we're going through the craft cupboard as well and trying to do whatever we can with the children. If you managed to watch yesterday video, Christopher was doing Kumihimo with me, and he's done another one. I haven't got it with me, but I'll show you in another video, or I'll put a post up later on. He really enjoyed doing the Kumihimo as well, so you can still watch back yesterday's video. You just have to go on the page, scroll down, and it will be there for you. Kumihimo is such an easy sort of craft, and you can get kids into it. And Christopher's doing a key ring, but picked it up very, very easily. And he's 9, so I'm trying to think some other projects what we can do with children and or with my children, and do some next week, I suppose. He's quite interested in doing the gemstone wire trees and some of the other bits of pieces, so I thought, why not while he's at home? And he's actually want to do it, so he's quite enjoying doing them. So I got about almost 3 inch there. Let me just see your lovely comments. Let us saying good morning, thank you for the videos. Faye saying hello Kitty. Angela saying, can you do this using 2 beads at a time? Yes, you can do it as wide as you want. So I'm just doing 2 going all the way on, because I only want like a thin strip here. But you know, you can do it as wide as you can. These ones are 3 beads wide, and where is my bracelet? This one is like 10 or 12 bead wide. Doris is saying, we have been great catching up with big plastic box called Totally Beads, which has all the kits I bought from you and had no time to make. Really looking forward to the flower cabochons. Oh yes, I think we all got loads of stuff at the cupboard at home, what we need to use up. I mean, I certainly got loads and loads and loads, which stuffs I was interested years and years ago when I bought a kit or 2, and I thought, oh, well, I'm going to use that up and I'm going to make that up, but unfortunately didn't have the time. I even got a paint by number painting somewhere. So what's the best time to sort of do all these things what you meant to do and never got around doing it? I think I got a knit handbag, like a felting handbag with wool somewhere, and that had some like red poppies or flowers on there. Maybe I'm gonna dig that out and give it a go. So this is actually, you know, use this time, if you have to stay in, just use this time to catch up on all of the stuffs what you been doing or meaning to do for the years and years and years. I had a little clear out the other day in one of my craft cupboards, and I found stuff what I didn't think I had, which was great. So, right, I'm just going to do this bead. I actually going to add a magnetic clasp to the end to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this. This is probably going to be quite nice with it. So this magnetic clasp has got 2 closed loop in it. So I'm going to sew it straight into between the 2 beads. So I'm going to pick up my first bead as normal and go through this one. I'm going to pick up the clasp itself and then pick up the second bead and come through this second bead on the previous row and just go back through that bead as normal as I would, but just having the loop of the clasp just right there. And then I'm going to come through row 2, the previous row, and go back through this one. Now I'm probably going to do this a couple of times to really reinforce this, because this clasp is quite heavy, I guess. It's a 12mm clasp, and the more you go through the clasp, the stronger is it gonna be. Just do it one more time. I got the size 6 beads, got really large holes so they can take loads and loads of thread. So I got a clasp on one side. Now if you wanted to do the using a larger bead as a clasp, then I suggest you add your larger bead first here, add a couple of seed beads and a size 6, a couple of smaller ones and a size 6 between, because you really want to add a little bit of length, a little bit of gap there. So when you're gonna close your loop of beads from the other side, you got a bit of space where you can close into. But always add the crystal first, because crystals are sort of meant to be the right size, and they are near enough. But if they're like maybe a 0.5 millimeter smaller than the one than the one before on the strand, then you might struggle at with clasp. So making your loop and using it as a clasp, because adding a bead or taking away a bead can make a difference that you can close it securely, or if it's a little bit loose, it might come undone. So I'm just gonna take these lovely lavender color crystals. There we go. So doing the decoration on the top, it's so easy that you're just gonna go backwards and forwards, looping and looping around. Ginny's saying, really enjoying watching and trying, thanks. And Doris is saying, painting by numbers bring back memories. It's the first thing my dad started me off many years ago when I was 7, and now I'm an oil painter. Love it. Oh, Doris, you must share some pictures with us. So we got a couple of groups, one of them called Totally Bead, totally handmade by Totally Beads. And that one is, if you go on our Facebook page, you can find it. It's just sort of like-minded people sharing what they've been making. And it doesn't just have to be about beads or doesn't have to be, it can be anything. Just sort of share your makes and give inspiration to each other. And you can talk to each other as well. So you can, interact with each other, and especially these times, if you're sort of all locked indoors, we can talk to each other. So the way how I did this crystals, because the crystals obviously they're 6 millimeter wide. If you did with 4 millimeter beads, 4 millimeter crystals, which I happen to have a strand just right here, then you could add 2 crystal beads and a sort of a couple of seed beads on either side to sit on the top. But because I'm using larger crystals, I had to stagger them so they sit really nicely with each other. So you're going to pick up a couple of seed beads, you're going to pick up a crystal bead and another 4 seed beads. Now these are, I've gone down to size 11 seed beads, and as you see, I'm coming at the last, let me just bring it a bit closer, the last row here. I'm just gonna, once my beads all on there, my decoration beads on there, I'm going to come from the other side and go to that row one more time to form a loop. And when I pull this up, this lovely bead's just going to go and sit on the top. So now I'm going to alter it. I'm going to pick up 4, I'm adding 2 loops of decoration for the first beads, for the first row. So it sort of forces the first row to sit towards the clasp a little bit, covering my loop up. So I'm going to pick up 4 seed beads, my decoration bead, and another 2 seed beads. I'm going to come behind here. So I like to hold my thread the way I want it to go. And I'm going through the last row, including the clasp as well, and pull this up. And now I got 2 loops coming out of this one. Every other row I'm only going to add 1, but I'm going to need to move along. So I'm going to, as I'm coming out of the last row, if I turn it around properly you can see it better, I'm just going to straight go through the row before, just like that. Turning back to the front. So my crystal is towards me, so I'm going to pick up 4 seed beads first, because I want the crystals to go on the other side. I'm going to pick up a crystal and another 2 seed beads, and I'm going to come through the second row from that side, just like that. So now I need to move along. So as I'm coming out of row 2, I just need to go through row 3, just like that, and pull this up tight. And I'm going to turn it back. Make sure your thread doesn't get caught. That's it. And then I'm going to start again picking up 4 of these lovely seed beads, a crystal and another 2 seed beads. I'm going to bring my thread down because I don't want them to get caught on each other, and pull this up. So as you can see, we're forming that lovely pattern already on the top. But if you wanted to add smaller crystals, 4mm crystals, then you could do 2 seed beads, a couple of crystals, another 2 seed beads, and then keep going through your loops. So I'm just adding this one and pull this up. And again, I'm gonna come through and pull this through. Go up the next row. I'm gonna pick up my 4 seed beads, the crystal, and another 2 seed beads. Oops, pull this down. And so on. And that's it really. It grows quite quickly, so probably making a bracelet up would take me about an hour, but it's just a lovely little, it gives you sparkling, lovely little sparkle to sparkle your day up. I love working with crystals, so do the length as you need. Now, a couple of things to bear in mind when you do your base row and you measure it to your wrist, and then you go back and do your decoration row, your bracelet might end up, depending on how tight is your tension, I guess, your bracelet might end up a little bit smaller. To do keep that in mind, but because we can work on both ends on these at the same time, you can always add an extra bead at the end if you feel you need to. So that's why it's good to add the crystal first, and then when you come down to the other side, if you need an extra row or through, even though you already done the decoration up until there, you can always add a couple of rows there to lengthen your bracelet. To do the triple one, again, just adding an extra bead, and instead of sewing sort of 2 beads on, you're going to sew 3 beads on, and then you go through the rows before. And adding fringes like this, I just come up every single bead as I go along, and adding sort of little loops and a lovely chip or crystal. This is again the 4x6 crystals to the top, and go back down and go along to the next bead. Really that easy as that, but it just makes it really spectacular. I love these bracelets because they are, especially with the gemstones, they're so nice and cool to the touch, as well as they're really elegant. And in my opinion, gemstone beads are so underused these days that you know, you're not really using it for a lot of things. But other thing as well, when you make this hedgehoggy sort of pattern, it's really, I can't stop sort of jingle my hand round and round with it, which is really great to wear it, really comfortable as well. So that's it for today. Let me just see if you got any more comments. Tomorrow I will be doing popcorn jewelry, so we're going to be going back to the tiger tail a little bit more, and show you using different effects how to do these this lovely sort of front pieces for your necklaces. So tune in for that tomorrow, but don't forget to go to our website today, download today's PDF, because tomorrow is going to be different. And share the video, share it with your friends, send it to them so they can then go and download the free PDF as well. So I hope you enjoyed watching today. If you got any requests, or if you want us to do anything different, please you message us or email us, or even just comment on the video, because we do see it, that what techniques you want to see at home, or perhaps you can say like, oh, I have loads of, I don't know, 6mm beads, or I have loads of X beads, or something like that. Can you give us some ideas how to use those up? Yeah, so just send us a message, share the video, go and join our groups, and please, if you make any of this, or if you do any of these bracelets, do share a picture in our handmade group, because it's so lovely to see what you're making. So that's it for me today. I got a couple of things I need to work on, but hopefully tonight I will have time to finish these beauty off, and I will post a picture up as well once I finished. I just realized actually that the crystals are matching my nails quite perfectly, so that's actually quite nice. I can wear it straight away. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow, and the rest of the week it will be Sarah Millsop with you, with various different projects as well. She's going to do macrame, she's going to do hugs and kisses, and a couple of other ones as well. So thank you for watching. We will see you later in the week. Stay safe, and yeah, keep on crafting.